Hi, and welcome to the Davos in the Desert podcast series. These podcasts feature thought leaders in business and public policy and are meant to be informative and thought-provoking. Our guest is Hanok Magid. He has over 30 years of experience in leadership roles at global high-tech companies characterized by an unwavering commitment to innovative technology, customer support, and operations. As a visionary, he leads SMARTECH's technological and business strategy to drive traditional manufacturing progress and profitability, and propel the industry to new heights. Without further ado, here is David Wayne Tick, Davos in the Desert CEO and our podcast host.
Hanok, please tell us a little bit about SMARTECH.
Okay, David, nice to see you. So SMARTECH is actually innovative technology company that put on its target to bring innovation and high-tech technology into the manufacture and production plants around the world. Usually we are looking into improvement of the traditional manufacturer around the world, and we are talking about bringing technology and innovation into mainly raw material and production processes. The company is based in Israel and actually implement and sell its product around the world. Most of our solution is actually implemented around the world, hardly yet in Israel, but this is our focus as well.
Okay, so would you say that your skills are more helpful to clients in terms of sourcing materials versus making the manufacturing more efficient?
No, we're not sourcing material, but what we're doing, we're taking the raw material, mainly the fluid raw material, and actually manipulating and optimizing the use of it real time on the production line. So this is what our legacy products are that we started back then, that actually implement a patented technology that took the raw material, let's say like the resin, the glue that used in certain manufacturers and product, and we actually manipulate the raw material, make it more advanced, and bring it to the optimized point of performance. And then by doing that, we improve the quality of this raw material and actually reduce the use and the cost of use of this raw material, saving a lot of money to the manufacturer. And this is one of the major issues of the traditional manufacturer, because they actually, their main challenge is low profits, high cost of raw material. So this is where we started.
Okay, so you start with the material the factory already has, or
Yes.
or do you recommend that a different material be used and sourced?
No, we actually taking the raw material that the manufacturer are using and manipulating it and making it better for the purpose of production and do it real time on the fly. We have a solution that actually our equipment is built by our third party partner, not by us. This is our technology. And actually you put it in the production line next to the line itself, and you actually flew the raw material through our system and you flew it back into the production line. By doing that, we actually manipulating, the parameter of this raw material and bringing it to the production line with the better performance point of look.
Okay, so what raw materials do you help with? Which industries do you cater to?
All right. The first industry that we actually penetrated, it was the engineered wood. Everyone want to know what is engineered wood. The production facility that prepare or produce the panel board that you build your houses in North America, or furniture, kitchen, floors, and so on and so forth. So they are using on top of the wood chips also resin, the glue, the adhesive actually to put it together, and also wax that actually repel water. So this is the two raw material that we started with. And the usage of this raw material is enormous. Each, let's say, average factory can use few $1 million for each one of them on a yearly basis. And when we're talking about saving, we're talking a lot of money saving, more than 30% on the wax. It's come to more than $1.5 million that's going directly to the bottom line, the profit line. or if we're talking about the glue, the resin, we're talking more than 50%, and it can come to more than $3 million because they're using much more, the resin, the glue.
So your treatment is it a chemical treatment that you apply to the resin, to the raw material, or is it a way that you make the equipment work more efficiently with the raw material? Where is your solution?
We're doing also mechanical, physical, and chemical treatment. So what we are doing, we're not adding any chemical. We actually looking on greener raw material. So some of the raw material, what we are doing, we're manipulating, the viscosity of the raw material itself, or mixing it with water to enlarge the capacity of the raw material that you can spray it better. For other material, we actually playing with the mechanical and physical parameters of the raw material, heating it or cooling it in certain ways that actually bringing the raw material to the time and the point of working in the best condition. So you can use just less what you need in how you got it, how it is in real time. Okay, we are not adding any chemical to the raw material. It's manipulation. One of them is suspension. We're actually taking the wax or taking the resin and mixing it with water, making it suspension. Suspension is actually unstable emulsion. Some people using emulsion that it's a stable combination of water and the raw material, but you add to it a chemical that you would like to make sure that it stands as it is for a few months. What we call it suspension. It's emulsion, unstable emulsion. So we are working to bring the system to the raw material into unstable stage that you can use it immediately. So we are producing the raw material for immediate use as you need.
Right. And I would imagine your customers do quality control inspections after the product is produced.
This is the must.
And what is the experience with those quality control tests?
So this is a must because they're actually checking the process itself, and also after that, they're checking the quality into the lab and making sure that it's in the same spec or even better spec than they used to have it, because otherwise they will have, complaints and it's not meet the specifications. So definitely they're checking, and this is acceptance test. We offer our customer that if it's not meeting what we commit to, saving or reduction of quantity and meeting the quality, we will take our solution back. And nobody gives us back the solution yet. All right.
So I imagine the customer shares their specifications that they have with their customers with you, so you know how to manipulate the raw materials.
Yes, this is one. And second, they have a lab that actually, or some sensor that they can check the quality in the facility itself, immediately after the production. This is what we are testing. We call it acceptance test procedure, that we are doing it with the customer by the end of the production, and they're checking it together with us and actually comparing to what they used to have and what their actually targets were.
And how long does the process take? So if you get a call from a potential customer today and they're ready to sign the agreement with you today, how long does it take your people to understand how to calculate the solution, how to implement the solution?
So this is the solution that we have. It's actually, I would say, almost a commodity for the production line. And the time it takes us is to produce this equipment. It's, if you're talking about the supply chain, this is the time it will take us. It can take us between, let's say, 6 to 9 months to actually build the equipment. It's mainly, sourcing the parts and actually assembling it in our third-party partners. So it's takes between 6 to 9 months, and this is with shipping it to the customer site and installing it on site. Installation takes 2 days up to a week, and we're making sure during this time we're connecting the solution to his production facility, running tests, testing and checking it in his lab and verifying that the quality is good as required. And this is there we go.
Right. For your own business development purposes, are you trying to target new facilities, new factories versus retrofitting older facilities?
Yes, this is a good question. By the way, what I described right now, this is our legacy solution. So we actually move also to artificial intelligence, and I will speak about it, exciting solution that we have in a second, in a few minutes. But in the industry that we are working, when we're talking about the industry of engineered wood or pulp and paper, whatever, it's built like a company that have many facilities. It could be one facility, one plant, and it can have 10 or 15 or 18 plants. So yeah, when you start with a company that have one, let's say 15 facility, you start with the first one. After that, it's a repeat sale ongoing. And all the time, you have more and more a company to address as well. Or you actually pulled by the company to install this solution in other facilities that they have because they have a good experience and save a lot of money with our solution.
Mm-hmm. So does SMARTECH have a record of customers being satisfied with one facility that you've retrofit and then hiring you to replicate your solution in other facilities?
Exactly, and this goes not of this for the same solution. It's also the other solution that we have that we can actually implement in the same facility. So it's actually you start with one solution in one customer plant mill, and then actually continue with the other solution and other mill as well.
Okay. And how do you charge for your services? Do you, is it an hourly consultation, or do you share in the cost savings that your customers generate?
In our equipment sales, when we're talking about the raw material equipment sale, it's actually CapEx sale that we actually they paying for the solution itself, and after that, if they want, they can actually join to the maintenance and services that we are giving and consultation. So this is ongoing. And when we talk about our solution and software solution, artificial intelligence, this is a different business model. We're talking about SaaS, software as a service or solution as a service that they're paying on a yearly or quarterly basis for the solution that we implement. And maybe I will present, our, let's say, innovative solution on artificial intelligence, what we just discussed about our equipment solution. So when we started some years ago to install it, we found out that actually, when you're looking into mill and to plant, and you can see the variation of the mill, you have a different raw material, you have different people actually running the mill, different climate, and different machinery, and you see the instability of the production line. And mill and plant hardly using, the data that the system are generating all the time. They're using ad hoc data just for the time that the controller, the people that actually, the experienced people that sitting in the control room, that actually trying to control the entire line. We're talking about huge line. And we thought that if we can actually look into this data and try to understand and profile the line from artificial intelligence point of view, maybe we can bring some stability into the line and bring some advanced operation into instability that they have. And that's what we have done some years ago. We started with that like 2019. And now we have a solution that's called autonomous manufacturing. This solution is AI based and actually profile the line and handle critical process in the production facility. And by doing that, we're trying to stabilize the line and actually open bottleneck. Because if you're talking about production line, there are critical processes that you can define where you have, define the critical process, define maybe the productivity or the production capacity. And then we actually focusing on this critical line. And it's very easy to measure when you implement your software to drive this critical process, you see the difference. how it's worked before and how it's worked after.
Are you targeting non-unionized facilities? I imagine in some cases, if there's a strong union, they may resist some of the efficiencies and loss of jobs, maybe.
This is an excellent question again. We see we are not going to replace people, okay? We give people a tool to do better what they are doing today. And instead of watching, let's say, if you're going to control room, control room of production facility, you go into the control room that actually looking into the entire mill. You can see people sitting in front of 20, 30 screens and trying to understand what's going in the production facility. You're actually taking some of the screen, many of the screen, and combining it to one screen that actually then the software can control the production facility by itself. Some of the critical process, but it's not release these people from their job. They can do other things or better things for the production facility. Okay, so we are not actually replacing people, but we're giving them a better tool to control what they're doing today and focus on higher level missions.
Okay. That's interesting. Maybe do you think that you could help the supply chain optimize the materials? I know we spoke about this a little bit before, but since you know so much about the quality of the raw materials, you know how to manipulate them, I would imagine that there's value to your customers if you could recommend better sourcing of the raw materials to begin with, or is that something you just don't get into?
Definitely, in the beginning, we didn't get it, but customers are asking us what is the best raw material and to grade the raw material, and that's what we're doing as well. We are giving them some recommendation about the raw material. Sometimes they're asking us to test raw material before they're actually sourcing them, and definitely we have actually cooperation with raw material and supplier company that actually asking us about question about the level and the quality of the raw material as well, how they feed the production facility. So definitely we are cooperating with raw material supplier and also customer, usually asking us to test new raw material that they thinking to purchase.
Mm-hmm. So I think you mentioned you started off by pursuing the wood industry. What other industries do you serve, or are you seeking to serve?
So we started with the wood industry, and then we actually moved into the pulp and paper, and also to the animal feed industry and to the gypsum. So this is actually traditional manufacturer, let's say automatic manufacture that you have different machinery, different processes, and you have to inspect all of them. So this is a value that we are bringing to this facility. And the value is increasing, and we are increasing the capacity or reducing the cost of the production. And this is a major factor for these plants.
Okay. Do you think your algorithms could be changed to accommodate very different industries, like maybe the plastics industry or the steel industry? So you could go to an auto manufacturer someday and recommend which steel they should purchase or optimize steel production within an auto factory?
Yes. First, our algorithm and the concept is a platform that can fit. It's agnostic to industry, and it can fit to other industry. But definitely, every new industry that we are approaching or penetrating, there is, I will say, some penalty that you have to, let's say, to learn this industry and give you like a few months, let's say around 6 months to implement in the first meal to understand, the critical processes as well. But after that, it's going smoothly. So definitely our solution is agnostic. This is our, let's say, target this was our target when we developed the solution to have agnostic solution that we can go to different industries. Now the issue is the capacity. how much you can eat and you can run and to install your solution. This is our, let's say, major challenge today, how fast we can run. Because I think it's a matter of time, we are running today, and I think I will say the engineer wood and in let's say also in pulp and paper, we are the only one that actually closing the digital loop. We actually have a prediction what to do, where the line and production goes, and how to actually manipulate and change the setting real time of the process. So by software, we actually navigating and running the machinery. And we call it, we are closing the loop. We call it autonomous manufacturing. Actually, the autonomous solution that we have driving the critical process by itself, and our, let's say, solution called ultimate operator. This is the best operator that can use it. He doesn't need to drink coffee in the morning, by the way. So he can run the system without any issue.
Right. Tell us about the size of SMARTECH. How many employees do you have, and which groups are they in? Engineers versus business development people?
So SMARTECH is still, I will say, small medium company. We have around 35 people now. As I said, based in Israel. Around 20 of them are R&D people, mainly R&D people. The others, we have some operation and some customer support. Few salespeople, and mainly it's based on R&D people. So we're still, I will say, small to medium-sized company.
And do you collaborate with other companies to implement your solution or to do business development work?
Yes, definitely. We have, let's say, it's already public and published. So we have a cooperation with one of the major equipment provider to the industry, to engineer wood industry, Simplecom. We have a joint venture. Our solution is actually sold on their machines. We install our solution not only on their machine, on other equipment provider as well. And this is one of our strategic direction as well, to cooperate with, let's say, big player in the industry that actually can distribute our solutions faster than small companies can do. And this is a strategic direction for us.
Mm-hmm. And are your solutions, do they integrate with supply chain software?
We can, but right now we limited from the production itself, from the process itself of the production, from the raw material to the end product. But in our vision, we look in the two ends as well. We can actually, because we understand the raw material, even if you're talking about the wood panel, we're talking about the trees. We have information about the trees, a lot of it, so we can go back into the back where the woods come from and understand what kind of disease they have, what kind of issue they have, and also we can go the other direction, to the supply or the selling cycle and close the loop over there as well. So we can enhance our solution. Right now, we are focusing production process on it.
Mm-hmm. And tell us the extent that you have a patent portfolio or other intellectual property, and what happens during the collaboration with customers. Your people must learn a lot about manufacturing as they implement, and so there's joint intellectual property created when you do an implementation, I would imagine. So who owns the joint intellectual property?
So on our solution, this is our own intellectual property, SMARTECH intellectual property on the AI, autonomous manufacturing, or the other, equipment solution that we brought to the market. One important fact to emphasize here, because we started from as equipment provider, solution provider, we had the raw material, so we know the language of the manufacturer. We understand what is production line. We understand how machines work. What is the process? What is the critical process? What is the product? When we brought the data solution. So we actually integrate the data solution and we know the language, because sometimes when you come from the data by itself, you actually have an issue to introduce this and to implement it in the real world for the manufacturer. If you do not speak the language, we speak the language, we understand what is the issue. And by the way, by our experience and relationship with customer, they gave us the ability to run the software in their facility and actually run machinery with our software. It's not an easy, machinery that costs millions of dollars, you run it by software, usually give it to, let's say, really experienced person, like 10, 15, 20 years of experience to run this solution. They gave us the option to run it by software, to test it. And this is a trust that they gave. And this is the way that.
So, how large is the SMARTECH patent portfolio?
I think we have more than 22, 23 patents from different area. And we also have patents that we are not utilizing today, and we're not actually, it's not commercialized today with the product. But most of what we're doing is patented as much as we can, and this is on innovation, our innovation technology.
Is part of your contract with customers, does that include a license to your patents? Do your customers pay a separate royalty for use of the patents?
Yes, it's something like that.
Yeah, okay. All right. To what extent would it help if SMARTECH was a larger company? Are there potential customers you speak to that would want your solution, but are a little bit concerned that SMARTECH is still a small company and you're dealing with a lot of money, you're dealing with purchasing a very expensive equipment, you're really getting to the heart of their manufacturing. And if you were in the hands of a larger company, maybe a publicly traded company, would there be a much bigger opportunity for SMARTECH?
Yes and no. I would say why no, because some customer would like us to be small enough that we will give them a service, not the largest company who sometimes, have too many customers. So this is from the no. But from the yes, our cooperation with big player, like the equipment producer, like Simplecom I mentioned, give us the ability to be part of a big force that actually go into this customer. So when we are going with Simplecom to each customer, we are going together. So we have actually a power and actually presence of big company, and also big company with focus on real value to the customer. And this is working. Definitely, I will say, looking into, windows of opportunity. Right now, we have a window of opportunity, and it's not for, I will say for the next 2 years that we can run fast. As much as we can get, we will win, because I'm sure that we will have competitor in the near future. So now this is the time to run fast and to be, let's say, bigger, that we can run faster. This is our, let's say, target. And as soon as as soon as you go into a company, you are there to stay, because I see our solution as operating system of the production facility.
Do you see concerns about China to be a benefit to SMARTECH? So many countries and companies are concerned about the dictatorial inclinations of the Chinese government, and they want to remove their manufacturing from China, either bring it back to the US or put it in Mexico, put it in Vietnam, India. So it seems like there's a lot of new factories being produced because people want to get out of China. Is that an opportunity for you to reach potential customers?
Definitely, because I will say democratization of the production facility, because you can give every company in every, let's say, country to implement or build his factory and use the software. So to run it to a certain extent, definitely you need people, but definitely, software that you can do it good, do it fast and efficient, will give them the ability to compete as well. And you don't have to import. You can produce things after you're making your consideration at your homeland.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's a big opportunity there for you.
Sure.
Do you know if your customers, do they typically expense or capitalize your fees?
It depends. If we are talking about the software, it's expense. It's a monthly or it's a service. And also, when we're talking about our equipment, there is two options. One, they can buy or purchase as a capex, or they can buy it as a service, part of the, let's say, reduction or saving that we are bringing to them. So there is two options there. They can actually capitalize it or pay it out of the service.
Okay. And do you have sufficient capital, or are you looking to raise additional capital?
We are looking into to raise additional capital. Yes, you're right, because if we would like to run fast and to enhance our ability and to penetrate different and or additional industry, we need more people and we need more heads and hands. And we have to run fast, because the windows of opportunity, as I see it, is here for us for the next couple of years. And this is what we're looking now. And we're actually searching for capital to run faster.
Okay. Is there an ability to white label your solution? So if there's a engineering firm, a consulting firm that's an expert on plastics or steel for the auto industry, can you work out an arrangement where they'll do most of the work and just kind of white label your solution?
Definitely they can, because we're talking about a platform agnostic to the industry. Yes, it's a business decision. Yes, but we can.
Okay. Great. I think we covered a lot. Are there any other points that you want to convey to the listeners about SMARTECH?
I will say that SMARTECH innovation actually bringing a lot of value to the customer. What we're trying to convey to the customer is the value, not the technology that is foreign by itself, but we are selling or bringing value that you can measure and you can see the value in your bottom line. And for the autonomous manufacturing, the artificial intelligence, I will see it will not reduce the headcount, but people that adopt artificial intelligence will replace people that don't. So it's a tool that actually makes your job faster, easier, and you can focus on different and higher level tasks.
Okay, great. I think we educated the listener a lot on SMARTECH. Now they have a much better idea of what you do. But you want to give them the website address?
Yes, it's www.smartech.com. SMARTECH is SMARTECH.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Hanoch. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure to me as well. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, goodbye.
Okay.